Hail, weary podcast traveler and well met. I see your adventure through the depths of the internet has led you here to sliding into the DMs. Now, this is not a podcast for the dirty boys, as the name implies, but rather a D&D advice and creative concepts podcast where these three nerds take your questions, suggestions, and pop culture influences to turn them into playable content, making goofs all along the way. This show is for everyone, from level 1 adventurers just stepping into the realm of D&D to the level 19 Dragon Slayer. Their aim is to help both players and DMs alike. Even Gary Gygax needed help sometimes. Just ask Dave Arneson. So step into our tavern, take off your cloak of elvenkind, and spend some time sliding into the DMs.
Roll for initiative. 14.
5.
7.
All right.
My boy Bruce starts
That's
it off.
me.
I'm never going to win.
Chaboy.
Welcome to Sliding into the DMs. This is your mad scientist Bruce here. Muhahaha.
And I am Trevor, your forum troll. Trolling all them forums, bitches.
And who am I? Who am I, you ask? Well, my name is Cameron, and I'm the Markiplier impersonator. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
Oh, our special guest host, Markiplier, from all the videos on the YouTube machine that everyone loves.
Yes, that's quite true.
The do not laughs, the getting scared, all of it.
Yes,
Hey, Cameron.
it's me.
No one fucking asked you, okay?
I know. Nobody asked me.
Take
ever.
off your headphones, go
Yeah,
home.
I'm doing it. I'm
Just
I'm
go
leaving.
home.
All right.
Can't-
All right, I'm going.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
wait. You are home. I forgot. You
Yeah,
already
I'm
are home.
It's where I'm at.
But go in the
That's
other room
perfect.
and just let Markiplier.
All right.
Just let Markiplier record with us tonight, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
All right, so since I rolled highest, I'm going to go and do a thing. So let's build a company mascot into a D&D character and give him a little plug-in for a game. What do you guys think?
I'm ready. I got my dice ready. It's fucking here. It's hot. It's ready to fucking go. It's not actually hot. I just rolled a 5.
Markiplier.
Yes.
So how this works is I have a website open that has the top 22 company mascots, or like the face of a company, like Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, the KFC Colonel, all those people are on this list.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so what I'm going to have, since you are a new special guest, Markiplier, can I call you that, Mr. Plier?
Certainly. Or Wharf Stash. That's great, too.
So what I'm going to have you do is roll a d20 for me, and I'm going to reference that on this list I have here, and we are going to take whatever you roll and pick that as our character we're going to build to help people plug it into their home games and kind of have some fun with it. What do you think?
I think that sounds great, but did you say I needed a D20? Because my D is 21 inches, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to get
Awkward.
Cameron back in here.
Oh.
That's only 12 then.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Is this in man inches or is this in like true inches?
Several.
True.
Okay, perfect. All right. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
14.
14. Number 14 on the list is... You know him. You love him. You probably hate him because he's a bad person.
Ben Shapiro?
It is Captain Morgan.
Oh.
No, not Ben Shapiro. It's Captain Morgan.
Oh.
I've had a few bad
the
nights
little-
off of that.
The little blurb they have here is inspired by a real person. The famous alcoholic beverage company's brand hero was actually designed by Don Mateus, an artist who is a master of science fiction illustration. Being the only rum brand with a pirate captain as a mascot, this character made the alcoholic beverage highly recognizable among the others and became a symbol of quality rum. Captain Morgan, you know him, you love him. He's the guy with his one leg up on a barrel. People used to do that pose all the time. It was all the rage for every photo. If you were a dude and you knew anything about this rum boy, you were doing that pose in a photo at some point, I'm sure. I know I have a couple of me doing it, so.
I definitely also have a couple of me doing it.
I don't have any of me,
Yes.
but I know I've done it.
We're all guilty here. What we're going to do now is we're going to, I think the classic go-to is just make him a swashbuckling rogue, because
Yeah.
they be pirates. I think we should go somewhere different with it, though.
Different how?
I'm thinking we give it that M. Night Shyamalan twist. Because, I mean, the Swashbuckler Rogue is a little on the nose. I mean, that could be fun too, but what if we make him a bard?
I was going to say bard, swindling, singing.
Yeah, a bard of, like, performance. So he's not...
Jack
I mean,
Sparrow-esque.
singing could definitely come into it because everyone gets more sing-songy when they're drunk. So I think bard is definitely a big part of it. I mean, because if you think about it, he's the face. He's the image. He's what people see. He's that cool thing. He's just oozing charisma.
Yep.
And
Chorizo?
I think that could be a really big part of it because, you know, bards can be proficient in combat as well. But I don't think he's big into combat. I think he's one of the...
He's big into partying.
Right. I think he's all the fun parts of a bard, and I think that's what got him in trouble and why he needs your party's help. So I'm thinking, like, lore bard or, like, storyteller bard, where he's just, you know, going around telling all these stories of all the epic adventures he's been in, but really it's just like he talked himself into a corner and he watched what happened, so he just inserts himself in the story, and he, like, makes this rum look, like, really desirable and, like, really interesting because, you know, well, all these people were fighting over it, or, yeah, this was the rum that was there when, you know, blah, blah, blah happened, and, you know, you remember when the kingdom burned down? Yeah, that stone kingdom burned to the ground. I don't know how it happened, but I was there. Drink this rum. Have a good time. Party with me. Is that a troll? She looks like your mom, and now there's a whole nother thing happening.
Wow.
What do you think? I think that sounds fun.
I think that sounds pretty right.
I was facing this dragon. I knew I had no choice. But then I had a shot of Captain Morgan.
And then he puts his leg up on a barrel. He's
Yeah.
like, I had no choice.
Because
Leg up
liquid
on a
courage,
barrel.
because, like, you know, the Captain Morgan, he gives people the courage. He
yes.
talks you into doing things once you have some of him.
Yes.
That's another bard aspect.
Highly persuasive, bard trait.
Mm-hmm. He's like,
High
hey,
performance, bard trait. High deception, bard trait. Like, this fits for me.
well, I mean, if we're talking high performance, that might not be true because, you know, have you ever had whiskey dick?
True. I have not had it.
Nope.
The hockey puck does not suffer from that.
Oh.
Doesn't have far to go.
Oh.
So I think his quest would be something iconic. What is a iconic drink made with rum?
Rum and Coke?
You mean besides rum and Coke?
Exactly.
I think, yeah, besides, how could you include Coke in D&D other than
Drugs.
getting people
What
addicted?
about, like, wasn't like a hurricane or a... Hold on.
I'm looking it up. Drinks with rum.
Drinks. I'm using a Google machine. Oh my god. I type in rum drinks. First thing that comes up. Rum drink recipes. Easy Captain Morgan recipes. From CaptainMorgan.com.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
From
Thanks, Cap.
CaptainMorgan.com. He's going to answer this question for us.
oh.
He's going to give us, just like he would in the game, he's going to give you stories. He's going to give you directions on how it all happened.
Penis colada.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, pina colada.
Dark and Stormy. Oh, born in
Ooh,
Bermuda.
Dark and Stormy.
This cocktail was a match between the British Royal Navy's endeavor in brewing ginger beer, a last-ditch effort to stop sailors from drinking so much, and Gosling's Black Seal rum. The Dark and Stormy.
The Dark and Stormy might be a good one because the name sounds rad, but it also has kind of like a combatant quality to it. Like maybe his distillery or the people who make his rum is being threatened by a competitor, but the competitor is using like witchcraft or like warlocks or something to enchant whatever drink they're making to steal the market away, and it goes horribly awry because the warlocks that they hired are just in it for their own gain, and you know they're brewing this massive elixir to just enslave everyone. And now your party has to join Captain Morgan in going and stopping these bad warlocks who are trying to enslave people for their patron to gain power. That happened in my head, literally, the length of time it took you to read whatever you read after Dark and Stormy.
Oh.
You're welcome, Internet.
Well,
ADHD for the win.
I was even thinking, like Long Island iced teas. They get you fucked up. You'll be ready to fight
That's my
after a
favorite
Long
drink.
Island.
That's my favorite drink.
It used to be my
Is it?
favorite. Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had one.
So you just take every alcohol you can think of.
Put a shot of it all into one glass.
You pour it into one cup.
And then put a tiny shot of
It's
Coke on the top. That's it.
White rum, dark rum, tequila,
Oh, you know what? I think I had one of these in LA at the Hard Rock. Now that I think about it.
Light rum, vodka, tequila, and gin.
Gin. That's what I was thinking of. Sorry, yeah. White
That's
rum,
a lot of
dark
them.
rum, tequila, gin, vodka.
Coke.
Put all of those into a drink. A little bit of sweet and sour and a splash of Coke, and you are on your way to a Long Island iced tea, sir.
So there's no iced tea in it at all?
Nope.
None. Nope.
Not
They
a
just
single drop.
But when it's done, it has an iced tea color.
I feel so lied to. The reason I got it was like, you know what sounds good right now is tea. But you know what also sounds good right now?
Getting
fucked
drunk.
up. I remember thinking that.
Exactly.
And there's no tea in it at all?
Nope.
No tea in it at all, man, friend.
God damn it, Captain. Fucking lied to me again.
But it's delicious, and it gets you fucking raging fucked up real quick.
Nice.
Like an
Yeah, I
adios.
only had one of them, so I didn't get there.
So not to
And
let
this always
everybody know.
happens to me. I go to a place and I'm like, I want to order a big drink. I don't care if it's fruity. I don't care if it looks girly. I want to order a big ass drink because I want to, I know it's going to cost me $18 to $20 for this one drink, but I want to get fucked up off of it at least, or like at least buzzed. And then
Dog.
I'll order it, and it comes to the table. It comes to the table, and it's like the size of my D20 is just like the size of a quarter. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
I'm like, that's your drink.
But then the drinks that are actually like the big ones in like
Potent?
a fishbowl and shit. No, like
Oh god,
if you go to like Hawaii and get like a fishbowl drink or some shit, there's like no alcohol in those.
You go to the damn AMC bowling alley and get a fishbowl.
That one's probably got real alcohol in it, though.
Probably.
And,
okay.
and
When I say
bowling
no
shoe
alcohol,
polish.
I don't mean no alcohol. I mean there's very little alcohol
next
for the
to,
volume.
yeah.
For the volume
Right.
of liquid that is there, it's very little alcohol.
This is all important to our side quest, by the way.
All pertinent.
This is all pertinent information for our side quest.
It is.
What do you think about the Dark and Stormy?
Like you, I went off in about 12 different directions when
Okay, what'd you got?
Cam was talking. No, with different drinks. I was reading other drinks
Yeah.
while he was reading that one.
Yeah. What did you come up with?
The Long Island iced tea was one of them.
Okay. I kind of like the Dark and Stormy idea of like he is at a bar talking a big game, and he's talking about how they keep beating this competitor down, and how the competitor's like scrambling to try and find something, and he's like, it's whatever, it's awful, and I think there should be a little scuffle where some of the Stormy Brewing Company's boys are there, and they're like, you know what, Captain, fuck you, and your cool ass captain's outfit and you're one leg up on that barrel and looking just amazing, fuck you. And so they start a fight, and then maybe he bought the party some drinks, so they're more likely to back him up. And then the party finds one of the barrels outside, and that some of the patrons have made their way outside, and they're sipping on it, and then like their eyes flash white, and then they just start marching off in a random direction. And it just looks super suspicious and...
Suspicious?
Yeah, suspicious. And,
Statisticious.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Don't.
TikTok has ruined us.
That is a TikTok joke for our TikTok host here.
I've heard that.
He barely even smiled. He's heard that audio so many times. He's just like,
He's
I'm
jaded
dead to the
now.
sound.
ugh.
So yeah, so they witness some fuckery happening of booze zombies, and then they set out to investigate it. What they find is an army of these booze zombies that they can't technically kill because they're still people. They have to try and stop these warlocks who are enchanting the ginger beer with whatever spell to make some zombies so that they can get more leeway with their warlock patron to take over the world and get power and all this other stuff. And
I like it. I like it a lot.
so, human lore bard Captain Morgan.
Yep.
And he is on a quest to stop the evil Stormy Ginger Beer Company from taking all of his sales and
Keeping people sober.
thereby corrupting the world and brainwashing everyone. I think it sounds rad. I would play it.
I would
play
do it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's been my segment of
Speaking of what? Of what? Of
Costume
what?
Crusaders. I'm trying to think of a name for this segment. Costume Crusaders, or I don't know. We'll figure it out in post.
Iconic icons. Iconic clad characters. No.
Iconic campaign.
Iconic campaign. Iconic campaign.
We conned a campaign?
Iconic campaign.
Exactly.
Yes. Because it's an icon, and also you're conning the campaign because you're introducing this real life character in a different way for your players.
We got to change the name then a little bit, right? Like we did Martin. It's a me, a Martin.
It's a me, a Martin. Yeah.
So what if his name is Captain Morbin?
Captain Morgan.
Instead of Morgan,
Gorman. Morrigan.
Yeah, like Morrigan.
Captain Freeman. Morgan Freeman.
Captain Freeman. Morgan Freeman. Like he's James Bond.
Yeah, I love it.
No relation.
No relation.
No.
Yeah. Because Morgan Freeman is in every D&D campaign, and he is a canon character. He's just out there in the world. If you meet him, if you roll high enough, you'll meet him.
He's there.
And your DM has to do the Morgan Freeman voice.
If you do it, you're meeting God.
Oh.
He's Ogma.
Yeah.
The god of justice.
So,
all right.
Speaking of playing, Bruce finally got his wish. Bruce has been asking me on so many podcast episodes recently to DM a campaign for him because he has been wanting to play. He's our forever DM. And the other night we were set up to record an episode, and we were actually just going to play a live play, and we were going to record it and throw it out there as just some content, but we had some technical difficulties that didn't happen.
We changed directions last second because I was having too much fun and I didn't want to make it mechanical, and so that was my selfish decision to enjoy the gameplay rather than do it for content for you guys. So suck it. I mean,
it was good though. We had a good time. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the campaign that I set up in 20 minutes, Bruce?
It was super fun because Chaboy Forum Troll over here threw a curveball in, and it was so exciting. It was I'm basically gonna call it a play your flaws game because he told us here is the classes you can play. It's martial only, so you only get like monk or ranger or fighter, barbarian, low magic classes. And so we chose those. We chose the race. And when we went to go start building out our characters, like going through the stats, going through the backgrounds, going through the abilities, all that stuff, he asked us to stop and roll a d20 8 times.
But I didn't say roll a d20 8 times. I said, hey,
roll it. Yeah.
Can you, before we get too far into this, I just want you to go ahead and roll a d20 for me. He goes, okay. Yeah. And he rolled, and our other player rolled, and I wrote down the numbers. And then I said, you know what? Actually, just go ahead and roll me one more. And they rolled one more.
Yep.
And I did that 8 times. And then what I had done was I had listed out all of the attributes or stats, but I did it in a more randomized order, so it's not like if they did catch on, they weren't going to be like, oh, this is going to be my strength roll, so I'm building a barbarian, I'm going to say that I got an 18 when it's not. You know?
So, just to let you know, by roll 3, I knew what these were. I knew what these were going to be. And I was like, oh, shit, this is going to be crazy.
But I had randomized the order, and then now you're thinking, there's only 7 stats. Well, why did you roll 8 times? Yes, I did. Because I was nice, and I said, there's going to be one bad roll in there. There's going to be a lot of bad rolls, but, the 8th one is just going to be a bonus, replace one of your other numbers. Yeah, swap it out. And then I told them, okay, for charisma, put this number for... Yeah. And then I went through my list, and I statted out their characters for them. so that they can't have this min-maxed perfect character.
Horribly flawed.
Horribly flawed.
Because, like, if you pick a barbarian, like I did, and then you roll your stats and he's chose where those stats go, you can't control where they fall. You know, barbarian, you naturally want them to be strong or fast, high constitution, all that stuff. Well, when he's choosing where those numbers go, you have a barbarian that could be very weak. You can have a barbarian who's kind of strong. You can have a barbarian who's like super duper charismatic, or you can have a derpy character who's, you know, he's got low dex, low strength, so there's no really reason for him to be a barbarian other than he's convinced himself he's a barbarian. And it can really mess with your...
For the record, I also had no idea what classes or races they had picked. So I wasn't intentionally trying to fuck them up. I just literally had my list of randomized things, and they rolled for what it was, and that's what it was. So randomized your character stats so that they're not playing this perfect min-maxed godlike figure, because that's not how things always work out. Sometimes it's more fun to not have this perfect picture of a character that you have. I just did a little snapshot in front of my face, and I realized this is an audio that no one's going to see my little camera when I said snapshot.
Yes.
But, you know, to not have a perfect snapshot character, it gets a lot more fun. It makes you RP, and it makes the game more interesting to try. It makes the
problems more of a problem.
Yes.
Because if you're problem solving and you're not using all the tools that you normally would have, it makes you have to think a lot harder on how you're going to get around some of these obstacles.
I'm a barbarian. I'm super strong. There's something in front of me. Smash, smash. It's gone.
Right.
No more problem.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a barbarian, but I have a 4 in strength. Shit.
But an 18 in dex. Yeah.
Yeah, what am I gonna do, you know?
Right. So it was super funny. He also did this thing where he said, you know, started a base level of 3, and then at the end of the D20 rolls, we rolled a D4, and he added that to our class that we started out with. So our level started out at a base of 3. I rolled a 2 on the D4, so now I got to build a 5th level barbarian, rather than the 3 that I started with, which I also thought was really cool. And our other guy ended up rolling a 4, which he rolled a level 7 character, but his stats were way lower than me. I was rolling super hot that night. It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
So that was more of a play your flaws thing of like, and also randomizing. Basically, we've talked about it on the show of randomizing for background differences. Like, these, you know, people always come up with different backgrounds of stuff that their character did before they started this adventure. Well, not every background is going to give you the same amount of experience. So, saying that everyone starts at level 1 or everyone starts at level 4 or 5 doesn't make sense when you consider backgrounds. So, that's why I had them all roll a d4, and then especially because it was a quick one-shot, we didn't really get into backgrounds, but I just thought it'd be fun to play with the idea. So then we had, you know, like I said, Bruce at a level 5, so lower character level, but it just happened to work out that he was just a naturally more gifted individual who's just had less experience. So all of his stats were higher, but his experience was lower, so he was a lower level. And then we had our other character who was a higher level, more experienced adventurer, but not as naturally gifted, so he didn't have very high stats to play with.
But he was later down the road than I was, technically.
Yeah.
So he had more abilities, but just less ability to actually do them. At least well. But it was fun because I got to pick the race, which I picked a Warforged barbarian who the background was pirate. So I had to figure out a story of how this arcane robot was on a boat for most of its life and what they did. And it gave me some interesting boons into my build, it was weird and kind of janky, but it was ultimately really fun.
I also gave Bruce a little taste of his own medicine, and I threw his own creature creations at him. that the
It was
ones you
terrifying.
guys have heard Bruce make in his creature creation corner. I pulled the stat blocks for those ones that he's made, and the quest I'm sending him on is of a crazy mad wizard who likes to build monsters. So now Bruce is fighting himself without
It's awful.
knowing it.
We broke those fucking monsters, man. I was 2 hits in with this Grawl, and I was about to die.
You also had a character that was a player flaws character, not a min-max character, and
True.
you're not.
True.
And there's only 2 of you, not a full party. So
Right. I think we actually statted those out for a party of 4 level 5s, and we were a level 7 and a level 5.
Yeah.
And we just got done mercilessly murdering a group of bards who were just traveling by.
That was their fault too. I wanted something to happen at a night shift and a watch, and I rolled for it. So it was basically what I did was I rolled my d20. Anything that was under 10, nothing happened. Their shift passed. Anything over 10, then they were gonna see something. But I knew they had the Grawl fight coming up, so I was really just gonna make it minimal, just to throw a little flavor in. And so their second watch, I told them it was almost dawn. Their watch was ending, and they see a troop of bards go by on a wagon. And I'm like, cool, the idea was just to let the bards drive by on the wagon, let them, sneak up to it and, observe, make sure these bards aren't going to do anything crazy to them, but let them go by.
And then mercilessly slaughtered the bards and stole their shit?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. He threw it in for flavor, kind of like if you walked up to a grizzly bear while holding a BLT.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it was a little snack, but I'm still going to murder you for it. And it was my first time actually playing in a very, very long time. So I was like, I'm going full motor hobo. I'm gonna murk these dudes. We're gonna steal all their shit. I'm gonna ride their horse. I'm a robot that used to be on a ship, and now I'm on a horse. I'm on a horse, and it's going kind of slow, and because we're traveling through the back forests. Wow. That didn't rhyme, but hey, you get it.
So these dimwits burned all of their magic slots.
Yeah,
being murder hobos.
Few that we had.
So then. Could I have been nice and pushed the Grawl fight off till later? Yes. But
did you?
Punishment for being murder hobos? Fight the Grawl 50 yards down the road after you killed him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Life has
it was really fun.
Choices have consequences, bud. And that was one of them.
That's
Fight
true.
a Grawl with no magic after you fucking decide to go murder hobo.
Right. I had no abilities left.
But yeah, it was a good time.
I highly recommend it. If you guys are out there and you just want to throw a one shot together, or you have a forever DM that you want to let play, do this. It will fuck with their brain enough to keep them super interested in it, and it'll be really fun. And you have to put barely work into it. Honestly, you can just kind of throw together a skeleton, which Homeboy actually drew out a skeleton as his.
I did. I drew out an actual skeleton. For my fucking plot map.
Mm-hmm. And it was really fun. So I highly recommend it if you guys get a chance to go ahead and play like that. It's really fun. It's interesting.
One thing I am going to mention before we move on from this, I am going to tell you because I'm going to tie this in a little bit later.
Okay.
You guys, where we stopped, you are about to meet an NPC.
Okay.
He is a reskinned lizard folk who is a gecko. And
okay.
His name is Willy Shoop-a-loop, and he is going to adventure with you, and he is going to help you.
Willy Shoop-a-loop.
Willy Shoop-a-loop.
I love him already. I will feed him and walk him, and I will clean up after his duties. I will get him a little pillow to sleep on.
He's a humanoid, so you don't have to. He's actually a pretty badass rogue, so those fights, like the ones with the Grawl, aren't going to be so hard.
But I'll put a leash on him, and he'll be so adorable.
We'll be so adorable.
Him.
Okay, like I said, I'll tie that back in later.
Excited.
In the meantime,
is he going to be a Jar Jar Binks character?
Cameron,
Me.
Can you hit us with one of them forum questions?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I can't.
Let's get it.
I don't want to hit you with anything. It's not very nice of me.
Slap me in the face with a forum question.
I'll slap you in the face with something.
Hit me.
My penis.
Just like that dude did.
Want him.
Just like that dude hit you at that 5-finger death punch concert.
Yeah.
I want you to hit me, but instead of with a fist, I want you to hit me with a forum question.
With a fist.
With
I'll
a
hit you with my
fist.
fist. Let's see, which one? Which one do
It's
I
when you
want
draw a
to-
face on your fist, like what's her name from South Park, the taco one. I love
I
tacos
was-
and burritos.
I was really
Jennifer
hoping you
Lopez?
guys missed that I said fist because
No.
I was about to
Not
say
today, my friend.
hit me with your face, but then I went nope. Hit me in the face with your fist. So then I kind of changed. I changed mid-word. I was really hoping you missed it.
Nah, I
That's
pick
when
up
you're really
everything.
awkward, but you want to flirt. You're like,
Oh.
hit me in the face with your face. Hit your face against my face, but like not hard. Like
With your
shit.
lips.
I just wanted to say I wanted to kiss you. Like
Yes.
With your lips.
that's a
not with your
low
dick.
charisma.
Charisma? Chorizo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chorizo. Hit me with a forum question, sir.
This one, it looks like is from the D&D Beyond.
D&D
D&D
Beyond.
Introducing people to D&D. This is from Diggin, and that's Diggin with ones instead of I's. As in D1G1N.
They're getting leet with their fucking name there.
Yeah, they did Leet.
Mhm.
They used Leet Speak. I was talking about Leet Speak in a live stream the other day, and I don't think a lot of the younger generation knows what Leet Speak is anymore.
They don't.
And it makes me sad.
Uncultured swine.
We're just old.
Okay. Question
Anyways, Diggin asks, I've been trying to get my friends and family interested in D&D, but they always seem to be scared off by all the handbooks and classes and actions and dice. I'm looking for a way to introduce them with enough information that when we get to the actual game, they aren't scared off, but little enough that they aren't scared off before even sitting down at the table.
So, one, explain to them that the handbooks and all that stuff is really just guidelines and help that you don't really need to go off of. If you want to start getting people to play with you, don't even bring that stuff up. Just start off by mentioning that it is just like an open world RPG and that it's a group storytelling event, that it's open world. They can do whatever they want, however they want, and they help you tell the story of this adventure. Also, like my good friend Bruce says, let him know the first one's free.
First one's always free.
They're more
First
like
one's always free,
guidelines,
man.
anyways. They can be changed. They don't have to stay strict to the rule book. It's not like they're going to be checking every single thing, dotting the T's, crossing the I's.
Yeah.
Right.
First one's free. Just that's how Bruce got me into it. Was like,
Mm-hmm.
just play once. I know it sounds intimidating. I know it sounds weird. It sounds nerdy. It sounds this. It sounds that. Have enough faith in me and enough respect for me to just try this one time. If I brought a new food to you and I asked you to try it, would you try it?
Wait a minute. That's not how you guys got me into this. You guys held a gun against my head and threw me in a closet.
No. The ideal way is to say, hey, the first one's free. You can do it of your own free will. Don't worry, we're
Yeah,
not
you
going to put a
weren't-
gun to your head.
You
For
weren't in an
you.
ideal situation.
Right. You said you had interest, and we said, cool.
did.
Have you ever seen a bazooka up close before?
I did.
You're about to. So I
Yeah.
think this is the creator I'm thinking about. There's someone on TikTok. I believe their company is called Zero Hit Points.
Oh.
And they created a little cheat sheet that you can print it out on a half sheet of paper, and it gives you very basic, like totally boiled down rules or ideas on what you can do and what's possible, and everything else is up to you. So like there's a small section here. It's called On Your Turn. Move, interact with an object, communicate, action, bonus action. That's it. And then it has another section that says on another person's turn, you have one reaction. And it says like opportunity attack. And like it just basic, like this thing is so boiled down and basic, and it's amazing. So that's what I would suggest taking to someone who wants a little bit more information on what they can and can't do, or what they're kind of looking at, or if they need help figuring out what they can do on their turns or in gameplay and everything, is just this very simple half sheet with very basic information on it. And then you just take care of the rest, because you know the rules and you can kind of explain things as they go. Or, you know, on there it says some of the stuff you can do outside of combat is you can search for something and you can tell them, okay, you want to search for something? What are you looking for and how are you looking for it? And they say, well, I want to see what he dropped or what the bad guy dropped as he left the room. Okay, well, that's an investigation check. So what you're going to end up doing, you're investigating. So you're getting up close and personal with whatever that area is where you think they dropped something. So go ahead and roll a d20, and then we're going to add your investigation to it. Another thing I would suggest is to find that investigation thing would be to help them kind of build a basic build character on D&D Beyond. You can create a free account. You get 2 character slots on a free account. And it kind of also walks you through some of that stuff. It can be a little bit intimidating because there's a lot of stuff on there that you can click on and windows pop up and everything else. But help them build a basic character so they know what they're looking at. They know what their stats are. And you can also kind of go over some of that little stuff with them in that process. But then let them know, like, you're just going to use this as a reference. This little card I made you is going to be what you run off of. And then we'll reference your player sheet after that. And then that way it's very basic, and then they can kind of relate what they're doing in game to their character sheet so they get more familiar with it, and it kind of breaks them in slowly. And then you can tell them, you know, you can lead them through those situations where deciding whether it's perception or it's investigation or whether it's intimidation or performance or whatever it is. I think that would be the easiest way to get someone in who hasn't played, who's interested in it, but is also intimidated by it.
I mean,
and that was my TED Talk.
It worked on me. You guys, I forget who came to me first and asked if I was interested in D&D, and I was like, actually, was it Trevor?
What up? That's me.
It was Trevor.
Yeah.
I was like, actually, I've always been curious, but I've never done it because I don't know people who do, and it's quite terrifying. So I was terrified.
He's been die curious because of the dice. Die curious.
Die curious.
I remember the first night we did it, you guys were like, do you have a set of dice? And I was like, actually, I do.
The first night we did it?
When you took my dicing virginity?
When we all 4 of us broke you in for your first time?
It was good. It was nice.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
My holes are now
I
spread
still
open
look forward to
D&D.
playing again with you.
Yes, I would
you
like
need
to.
to play more games.
You just need to stop working so much. You know what
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
if I only didn't have bills to pay and lived in California where everything was so expensive.
This just sounds like excuses to me.
It is excuses. Hey, you know, if you guys want to stay up till like 5 a.m. with me, I'm up until like 5 a.m. almost every night. And then I sleep until like noon. So that's, you know.
Hey, as long as it's a Friday, I'm down.
Trevor's like, oh dear Lord. It'd be like 4 a.m. for you, Trevor.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
I would not be.
And it would be a Saturday after that.
It's like, I would not be able to do this.
Back to D&D.
Back to what we were doing. Question number 2.
I think we nailed that question. Done.
Hell
Cameron,
yeah.
give me another one.
Hold on real quick. Let me reference that site again. 0 hit points. 0hitpoints.com. Guides/D&D 5e player combat menu.
Hey, wait. Real quick question.
Yes.
The number or ZERO?
ZEROHITPOINTS. If I remember, I will source this in the description of this podcast episode, so you can go click on it there. But they have a bunch of different guides. They have character creation checklists, magic item categories. They have rogue breakdowns. They have artisan tool breakdowns. They have character twists, like prompts and ideas that you can take and use. They have a bunch of cool stuff on there. I'm actually going to save that website and use it for whenever I want to break new people in, because I think that's the easiest way to do it.
I like it. All right. Thank you, Bruce. Cameron.
Yeah.
Yes.
Form question me.
All right.
As the McElroys say, it's time for a Yahoo.
Oh, time for a Yahoo.
Although we have no Yahoos.
We don't have any Yoo-hoos either.
We don't.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But we do have some D&D Beyond.
Oh, this is from D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
This is from Outrageous B+. That's outrageous _B+, I should say. They say, I'm having a good nature discussion with my group about feline agility and haste. We have a tabaxi, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, tabaxi.
Tabaxi,
Right.
okay, thank you. We have a tabaxi rogue who took the mobile feat.
Ooh, sorry.
I have no idea what that means. And he's getting excited, which gets me excited, which grants 40 feet of movement. Let's say the ranger casts Longstrider on him. Wait, the ranger
Jesus
cats?
Christ.
Or is it casts?
Casts.
Casts.
Yeah,
Okay, they spelt it wrong.
casts.
Sorry. Let's say the ranger casts Longstrider on him to make it 50 feet of movement. I was thinking the numbers would work out to 50 times 2, being feline, equals 100. 100 times 2, haste, equals 200. A couple of guys think that the old D&D multiplier system is in play, 3.5 rules, saying that it should be 50 times 1 plus 2 minus 1 plus 2 minus 1, for a max speed of 150 feet. Which one is it? References to sage advice or published books would be appreciated.
Oof.
Okay, so when I found this question, I grabbed it because our mad scientist here has in a game played a Tabaxi Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cameron, you were confused about some things in that question.
I was.
So first off, Tabaxi is a humanoid lion.
Ah.
Actually, it's more of a small cat species. The leonin are more of your big cat species, like lions, tigers,
Okay.
jaguars, cheetahs. The Tabaxi race is more of your lynx, your bobcats, your house cat-esque characters, or
Like a furry.
What is it? Savannah cats, like stuff like that, like where they're big and they can hunt, but they're not the larger cat species. That's more set for the leonin.
So, like, not a furry.
A desexualized version of a furry.
Yeah.
A furry that's not going to
hey.
have sex with you, but probably going to stab you in your sleep.
Right, and for some reason that's still kind of really hot.
Well.
Yeah.
Bruce, we all know now that the things that you're into, that's fine. The internet's a weird place. We all are into some weird things.
What can I say? I don't
All
got
right.
hair on my head, so I appreciate it everywhere else.
You had some more questions in there, Cameron. Hit me.
Some more questions. Let's see, what was the other question I had about that question? There was something else that I read in here that I was like, what in the world is that? Well, I mean, obviously, like Longstrider, which obviously now I get is a boon or an effect. Or like a spell, yeah, which is cast on somebody or towards your party.
Right.
Stop
Right.
it, cat.
And haste
And
is a spell as well.
Same thing. Haste is a spell that you can cast on yourself or another player to double their movement speed.
Well, actually, it doubles a lot of things for them. Haste, I have it here. Hold on,
So it doubles movement speed. It's 2 attacks per action. It's...
Right.
You
So
have
it doubles a lot of things. It gives you basically super speed. So instead of something taking you 6 seconds to do, like we talked about those pie slices, instead of it taking you 6 seconds of a pie slice to do an action, it cuts it in half. So now it only takes you 3 seconds. Now you can do 2 of those in 1 pie slice.
Right.
So
Okay.
Longstrider is a spell. It says you touch a creature, the target speed is increased by 10 feet. The mobile feat, which is, so a feat is, it's short for feature. It's something about your character that you can do due to something in your background or due to some challenge or quest you did that allowed you this ability. Most of the time this is in your backstory of like, I trained with monks for whatever and blah, blah, blah. And now you talk to your DM and you've gotten a way to get this feat. So mobile, the description is here. It says, you are exceptionally speedy and agile. You gain the following benefits from this. Your speed increases by 10 feet. When you use the dash action, difficult terrain does not cost you extra movement, which if the terrain is difficult, technically it will cost you half of your movement speed to get through that, or it'll cost you, 5, 10, 15 feet extra just to move through that area. This negates that.
Okay.
And then it also says, when you make a melee attack against a creature, you do not provoke opportunity attacks from that creature for the rest of the turn, whether you hit or not. Huh. So as long as you see a character or a creature and you hit it or you try to hit it, you cannot be attacked back by that creature if you try and move away from it. So opportunity attacks are when you leave that creature's reach Normally they would get an attack of opportunity, which means your back is turned, your focus is off of them because you're trying to move away from them, so they see an opening and then they take that opening.
Okay.
So, but you also get a boost in speed from that. Now, the other thing that was mentioned was feline agility.
Mm-hmm.
Feline agility is a character trait, or I'm sorry, a racial trait. Yeah, of the tabaxi. Tabaxi are feline, they're agile, they're dexterous, whatever you want to call it. But one of their benefits is something called feline agility. It says your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of your turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on your next turn. So you have to stand still the turn after you use this ability, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to stack. They're trying to build like a big, they're trying to boon the fuck out of their character. They're trying to boost it. They want it to go all over the place. So if you haste them, cast Long Strider, so haste doubles their speed. I want to say that a Tabaxi's base speed, if I'm remembering correctly, is 45. Let me double check here.
I think they reference it in the question as 40.
It says here, Tabaxi 5e in point form, their speed is 30 feet. So 30 feet goes to 60 feet because of haste. And then if you have the mobile feet, you add 10 feet to that. So that would be 70. And then if you give them Long Strider, that gives them another 10 feet, which would be 80 feet. Unless you cast haste after you've already cast those other 2 spells, which then makes their speed go from 30 to 50. Cast haste. Because their speed is increased at the time you cast haste, the way it stacks, I think it would be 100 feet. 100 feet in a turn. Now, there's other things you can do to a character. I think there's a couple guys on TikTok that talk about the speedster character. And they talk about, feline agility, gives you an extra 10 feet. I think feline agility used to be more broken. It used to double your speed. Oh, that's what it is if you use your dash. Because your dash is you giving up an action to use that action for another movement. So the way combat breaks down, you have a movement, action, bonus action, free action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your movement, you move your full 30 feet, and then you use your dash to move another 30 feet, but you're also hasted, so you get another action. You get basically a whole nother turn. You can use another movement to move another 30 feet. That's already up to 90 feet. Then you use Long Strider for another 10, 100, and you use haste for another 30. Yeah, it can get broken. I think it maxes out at like 180 feet.
Well, okay, if you go by your math from before, right?
Uh-huh.
If they do all of that stuff, you said you agreed it maxed out at 100. But then if they dash, then...
That's another 30 feet.
No, that's another 100.
Stand by. Brain math.
I agree it'd be 200 feet. If you're dashing, I think it's 200 feet with all of those boons. But that's why I brought the question to you, because forever DM, so you do this all the time, and you've played a Tabaxi Rogue.
Right.
So
Rogue has some stuff too that gives you a little bit of a boon.
So basically, back to what their question is so that we can refresh it. They were thinking, their original thought was that it would be the feline would have 50 times 2, which would equal 100, but then the haste would add 100 times 2, which would make it 200, whereas their friends say the old rules would make a max of 150. So you're saying they're correct that it would be closer to 200.
Yeah. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because I'm not sure where they're getting the 50 from. Oh, no, the 50 is from them doing those 2 other spells to the 30 speed, which would bring it up to 50, and then haste doubles that, so that'd be 100.
And then dash.
And then if they dash,
200.
Yeah, as long as all those are activated, I think it'd be closer to 200. 180 maybe, if you finagle the rules where you're not giving them those extra Long Strider and feline agility, because feline agility is that one use kind of thing, and you have to be standing still for it to recharge to use again.
So you're saying it could potentially meet them both in the middle, where they're both not technically incorrect or correct.
Yeah, it's all technically up to house rules, and what the DM says is feasible, because you're playing in their
house,
their world, their physics, their their idea of how this is going to go.
Right.
If you have a lenient DM, they may say, yeah, fuck it, 200, go light speed, whatever. Or you may have someone who's like a rules lawyer where they're like, no. Feline Agility says to use it again, you have to stop moving for one whole turn. And because technically this would be a second turn because of your haste, then... So I could see it both ways, but I think the way I would rule it is you would be moving up to fucking 200 feet in that turn. Which I don't know why or how you would use that or what would be useful to that. I mean, if you're chasing someone down, maybe, or you're trying to cut someone off, but fuck, that's a lot of speed. And mobile is actually really cool because you can technically move through an opponent's square as long as they are a body size equal or to one larger than you. So you can basically, if you're a 6 foot tall creature, but you're considered medium, and you're fighting a large creature, which would be like a Goliath, I think they're considered large. If you're fighting a Goliath who's only 8 feet tall, and you're 6 foot tall, they say that you can run and slide between their legs without getting an attack of opportunity, even though you'd be passing through their range. They're saying that you're so fast, you can just run, fucking hood slide underneath their feet.
They'd be too slow to be able to catch you.
Exactly, yeah. So technically, that speed might go a lot farther with that mobile feat because you can pass through other objects. So, I mean, it's really broken. It's kind of insane what you can get out of that, but I think it's closer to the 200 if I'm trying to...
This is what we call OP meta building.
Well, okay, I was going to say,
right.
in an
This
instance,
guy watched a video.
So, curiosity peaks in my brain. Say you're fighting a creature, and now what I'm assuming is that creatures only have a certain spread range of attack. So, however many feet.
It depends on the creature, yeah.
Exactly, so it depends on the creature. So if the creature has, say, 187 feet of range, and you have 200 feet movement, you could essentially stay out of its range. Correct?
Yeah, and you can pass in and out of its range without getting an opportunity attack because of your mobile feat.
Exactly. You could
So if you're fighting a dragon, which would have something close to what the footprint you're talking about, their like attackable area, their range, or what you would call their reach.
Yeah.
If you're fighting a dragon, because of their breath weapon, because of their layer actions, because of their legendary actions and stuff like that, they have a huge swath of territory they can just annihilate anything on it. There's very little places you can hide from a dragon. So if you're fighting a dragon and you're this Tabaxi rogue with all these extra little things, all the bells and whistles, you could effectively charge up to the dragon, and that's only half of your movement, do an action or two with the action economy because of your boons with your haste and your, all this other stuff. And with rogue, you get extra stuff. And then bounce back out of that range and be somewhere somewhat safe as long as he doesn't move on his turn. Like, yeah, you could definitely do something like that.
That'd be trolly, and that'd be something that I would do, is just what I'm thinking. I'd be like,
Right.
I jump in, I attack, I jump out.
Right.
What you gonna do now?
Well, see, for that kind of build for a rogue, I would almost play a ranged rogue, because then you could just run around the fringes of everything and just dagger, or archery, or crossbow, whatever the hell you want.
I think Davben Smoothhands does exactly this.
Yeah.
He does.
You get a surprise attack with ranged, so fuck it.
In our campaign, we have a rogue who took the mobile feat, and this is how he plays his rogue, is he has a rapier with booming blade, and he has 2 daggers, and he uses it to... He's a rogue, so he knows he's squishy.
Right.
He runs in, he attacks with booming blade, attacks with his dagger, and then runs back out. Or he'll keep his bonus action so that he can... Because he also, with mobile feat, I think you can dash on... You can dash only costs a bonus action rather than an action.
That's the rogue feat.
Oh, okay.
That's a rogue thing. All rogues get dash and dodge as a bonus action rather than an action to activate.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not proficient in fighting quickly, they have to spend an action to do a dash or a dodge or whatever it is.
Yeah. So a lot of times he'll run in, attack with booming blade, get surprise attack because he's
and extra damage because of the spell.
And extra damage because of the spell, and then he bonus act, and then he disengages with the mobile feat, gets no opportunity attack, runs away, and he'll either bonus action dash to get away further, or he'll bonus action hide so that they can't see him, and then his next attack, because he's hidden, when he pops back out, he gets surprise attack again.
Right.
Yeah, our rogue player is very good at what he does, and what he does is learn how to bend the rules to his advantage.
Sneaky.
To like splintering, but not breaking. Like splinter, like you can tell it's a little bit of damage there. Like it's not technically the rules, but it's not technically not the rules.
He's really good at not breaking the rules, but like doing a delicate tango around the rules.
He's pulling a matrix. Right. He's bending.
He'd be the guy arguing the 200 feet right now.
He'd be the guy.
100%.
And I would be
100%.
I'd be the guy arguing Feline Agility's limit.
Yeah.
Because I'd have to try and wrangle him in a little bit. Like, give me just the fucking 10 feet. I will let you go 190 feet. Give me the 10 feet.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just a pride thing. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really cool. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a good idea. If you want to try being a rogue, definitely look into the mobile feat. And like I said, that's one way to use it and abuse it is like we just talked about.
The way he abuses the mobile feat is that he chose already a very small class or very small race. So no matter what race you are, every race is bigger than him. So it doesn't matter how big you are unless you're another halfling like him or even a gnome maybe. Those are the only ones he cannot just pass through. So every creature doesn't pose a threat to him in movement at least because he can just zoom right through them because he can just pass through their legs.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Right.
All right, so
I love that.
You want to tie in your Gecko and then we'll call it a night?
I was just going to tie it in when we're doing housekeeping stuff.
Oh.
It's just part of housekeeping.
We're at almost an hour now. Do you want to try and get one more question in?
I think you get one more quick question in.
A quick question.
Okay. Well, I also have a suggestion from TikTok that I found that I don't mind showing if you guys want to hear it.
Sure. Yeah, hit me up, dog.
So
I said dog in fucking 2021.
Wow.
Go ahead.
How old are you? Fucking 30?
What is your problem?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So this creator is called Elvish for Friend.
Ooh.
I believe. It's hard to see. Hold on.
Like for the letter or for the word?
ELVISHFORFRIEND. Elvish for Friend. And he has a lot of great content where he talks about, different ideas or creative concepts to throw into your game. Basically, it's our podcast, but he's better at it. And it's on TikTok, so everyone loves it. And I saw one of his videos come across with a very good idea that I want to steal. And it's kind of something we've talked about with you, Cameron, where you want to take some aspects and ideas from the video game Dead Space and include it in a campaign or build a campaign around it. And what he was talking about, which I'll play for you guys here, but I'll cut in the audio on the actual podcast so you guys don't have to hear how garbage this sounds, is I'm just going to play it for you. Ready?
Go ahead.
DMs of TikTok. Need a little inspiration? Here is one of my favorite resources to steal content from. And it's old video game guidebooks. These things are great. They're full of resources like puzzles, quests, side quests, character ideas, and they're cheap. I got this God of War one from a used bookstore for about $2. I mean, you can steal maps, puzzles, enemies. There's so much. My favorite thing to do is to cut out the maps and make a little 5-room dungeon. I stole the concept of this spring-loaded door to see how players would try and open it. I gave the deep gnomes inside these flasks of blinding to sort of emulate this blinding projectile that the dark elves would use. These are great for fleshing out your world or building a bank of random dungeons, and if you wanted to, you could set an entire campaign in this setting using this book.
So he talks about how you can go get those guidebooks that you used to see in game stores when you used to go into game stores to buy games.
I mean, you can still buy them, but they're more like collectible now.
Yeah.
You don't just buy them to
Right.
beat the game.
It's like a player's guide. You know, like I had one for Prince of Persia when Prince of Persia came out.
I mean, honestly, if you just Googled a walkthrough for a game, you could probably find all the maps and stuff
Absolutely,
like
yeah. You could. I think I went and looked it up the other day, and I could find PDFs that you could just download. But it's a great idea because I was thinking for your Dead Space game where you just go download the PDF, walkthrough for Dead Space, and then you can go pick and choose which characters, which creatures, what their weaknesses are, what the, traps are, all this cool stuff, and like story points and everything like that. That would help you build your skeleton. That would help you get the idea of the challenge it would cause your players. And you can also, like he was showing in the video, which I can send it to you guys so you actually see what he was pointing at, but he was showing they actually have map layouts of that floor, that area in which you're playing in the game, and referencing different pieces and parts of it, just like you would see in a one-shot pamphlet or booklet, where it would show you the map so you can see it in your mind or see it on the paper and then describe it to your players. Or what he did was he cut it out and used it as a reference guide for whatever he was doing. I could even see you, if you get in the PDF, you can just blow up that image and print that out on a couple different sheets, or you can print it out and then sketch it yourself, whatever you want to do. Or you can just project it onto a play mat like some people do, and there you go. It's an easy map. I want to say they even have grid lines on them. So it's an amazing idea, and I wanted to bring it here so that people could, use that in their games. And, maybe this is a game you run for your forever DM where you have to make them play as flaws, but you run a quick encounter on a walkthrough that you saw. Like, that would make it so easy. Basically, everything would be planned out. You can go look up monsters on Google that would match similar qualities to the monsters from that game, and then boom, you're done. You have your whole one-shot planned out.
And don't be afraid to grab from multiple things too, though, and match them together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically what
Absolutely.
I did for that one shot that we were talking about earlier. That I'm having Bruce and another one of our players play, which turned out to not be a one shot, because that's kind of one of my flaws. Is every time I try to write a campaign for a one shot, it ends up being like a 6-shooter because I get way too into depth on everything. But I've been reading Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a book series that I'm really liking, and I took that and I mashed it with, can't think of the name of the movie right now, but we talked about it before on this podcast with James Franco and Natalie Portman.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So
The
that
one with the heroes, yeah.
Yeah. Along with, I mashed in Bruce's creature creations, because in that movie, the Dark Sorcerer makes monsters. So I took that, took Bruce's monsters, and I substituted them in for the monsters that Lazarus or Lazarus or whatever they call him in that movie creates. And then like I was saying with and then I actually threw in some of my friends into the campaign too, as characters to replace. So
there's a lot of content out there that you can grab. You just kind of keep an ear out for it. If it makes you happy playing it, like Matt Mercer says, rob the fuck out of it, steal the shit out of it. Like, just take it. Because if it's fun for you, you're going to be more interested in running it for someone else. Like, it's going to mean more to you. You're going to know more of the details because you've played it, or you've loved it, or you've obsessed over it. So you're going to know a lot more about it, and you're going to be able to just off the top of your head pull those things out really quickly and make it still fun, but still informative and easy.
I always pull it out quickly.
And that's where we'll end the show. So let's do some housekeeping.
So I just want to say, I know we're all dealing with, as we have been for the past year and a half, COVID-related stuff, and having to play remotely and not see our friends and everything. So keep doing that. Keep having fun, even if you guys can't be together.
Right.
I bring this up.
Be responsible.
Be responsible. I bring this up and talk about it. And like I said, I wanted to tie in that character that I was talking to you about earlier. So I named him Willy Shoop-a-loop, after my friend Michael O. Michael O and his girlfriend both have come down with COVID right now.
Oh no.
His girlfriend Katie was having some stuff going on, so they weren't doing too good, and that's when I was really just thinking about them a lot when I was writing this campaign. And he had told me before he wanted to get onto our show and stuff, so that's why I bring it up and mention it. So all of the names I have are names that we call him. All right, he is the Gecko. We call him Shoop-a-loop all the time. Willy Po'boy. So that's why I mashed all that together and made Willy Shoop-a-loop the Gecko.
I love it.
But the point is, be safe out there. And Willy, we are thinking about you, brother, and you and Katie get better.
Yes, please do. And you'll have to keep us posted on how they're doing.
Will do.
Like, especially if you're scared to get groups together with all the COVID stuff happening, and I know that certain states are having, just to add on to this, certain states are having rises of COVID cases. Discord, we're using Discord right now to view each other's faces, our beautiful faces of Bruce and Trevor and myself. Discord's a great place to, get together as a group, and you could still video chat, or not even video chat. You can use your phone, you can just voice chat, and you can have a game, technically. Yeah. Without being in person, without putting yourself out there in the elements.
And there's other services too, like
exactly.
I believe Roll20 does video chat and map projection. So if you can go build a map on your DM side, and all your players can view it and move their characters on the map as they want to. So if you have those people who have trouble with theater of the mind and picturing what you're describing, you can go in and build a map. And I want to say on the free service, you do get a lot of tools that you can use for that service and for your friends. And you can import notes for your campaign, you can import details, you can put NPC cards together. There's a bunch of stuff you can do on there. So, and I want to say there's another one, it's like something virtual boardroom or something like that, where you can do very similar things. It's meant for a more business platform, but there's a lot of tools in there that work well for DMs and Dungeons and Dragons as it is. So there's a lot of options out there. You just do a little bit of research, especially if you're trying to stay safe trying to keep everyone healthy and going in this post-apocalyptic plague world that we live in nowadays. I mean, do what you gotta do. Be smart about it. There's no need to put yourself at risk more than you already do on a daily basis. So there's tools out there. I'm sure we have, or we can put together a list of things if we need to. If you think that's a good idea, we'll go ahead and do that.
But get well soon, Katie and Willy.
Yeah, Willy, the Gecko, Shoop-a-loop.
Willy, the Gecko, Shoop-a-loop.
Yes.
All right.
And you did it, bud. You made the podcast. You did it.
You did it. You're here.
You're here.
So, you can reach out to us, and you can ask any questions you have. If you need advice on your DM strategy or player strategy, or you have any specific questions about D&D we can answer for you, slide into our DMs. You can do that on just about any social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Do have a TikTok going. I don't have any videos posted on it. I know.
We should really record us recording the podcast at some point and put it up there.
Just make 30-second clips to throw up there of us recording. Also,
something funny.
So, slide into any of those DMs on our socials. You can also email us at emailthedms@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
And thank you to Carter for our intro. We always appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. If you guys want to record yourselves or your party saying roll for initiative, please do. You can record in a quick little video and tag, Sit DMs on TikTok, or email it to us, or whatever you want to do, and we'll cut those in. What we just ask is you give a brief description or a brief intro of your character. If you do a character voice, go for it. And then just say, Boyos, roll for initiative, and we'll go ahead and do that. We'll cut those in and we'll credit you, and we'll thank you in the podcast as well.
That's a way to get onto our show. If you want to have your voice heard by a lot of people, just go ahead and do a character voice for your, or don't. I don't even really care. For whatever character it is that you play in your D&D game, give a brief introduction of yourself as your character, and then ask for us to roll for initiative for the show, and we will cut that into the beginning, and we'll thank you and credit you for that.
Absolutely. And now I believe it is time for our patented, trademarked, and well-received part of the show that everyone loves the best, and I am not stalling to go and look for one, but it is our quips.
All right, so a witch doctor is talking to a bard, and he says, "If you ever die, I will pay a handsome price for your body." And the bard looks back up to him and says, "I'm sorry, but the times of me selling my body are long over, friend."
Oh my god.
Oh god, I loved it. That was the best one you've ever found.
Do you know what's big and scaly and bounces? A dragon on a trampoline. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Why is it my favorite, though? Why do I want it on a t-shirt? Why do I want stickers for my hydro flask?
Of a dragon bouncing on a trampoline?
God damn it.
Exactly. It's an amazing image in your brain.
What do you call someone who becomes a mushroom on the night of a full moon?
What?
A micanthrope.
A micanthrope.
No.
Yes, it is good. You will laugh now, but it will be pity. I love
Stupid.
it.
I love it.
All right, you guys.
I will think about it and I'll laugh later, okay?
All right.
Yes, look up Mican.
No, I got the joke.
Yeah, I got it.
But did you get that it was... Well, and as always, fare thee well and adventure onward.
Spice. They can't see me. They can only hear me. Stupid ass.